Now on BBC World News, it's time for your questions answered on COVID travel restrictions around the world. Now, after months of travel restrictions, many people are very keen on booking foreign holidays once again. But organising a trip isn't straightforward as rules are being updated country to country. Well, we're here to help. We've got two travel specialists joining us now. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer some of your questions. Clive Wratton is the Chief Executive of the Business Travel Association in the UK, and Tiffany Smith, a travel journalist based in Chicago. Right, let's start with a question to Clive, and this comes from Maxime, who says, from Tuesday, Portugal will be moved from the UK's green travel lists to amber. Will the island of Madeira be considered part of the overall Portugal change, or could it be maintained on the green list because it's a separate island?
Well, good afternoon, Ben. Yes, unfortunately, Madeira is treated the same as Portugal. The UK government had or has an island policy which would have allowed Madeira to be separate from the Portuguese rules, but unfortunately on this occasion, Madeira has been grouped with its host country, Portugal, and therefore will be entering the amber list from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. OK. Very clear answer there, Clive. Thank you very much. Tiffany, let's take the next one and put it to you, because David Allen in the UK in Buckinghamshire says, I've not seen my son in Connecticut since December 2019. I have tickets booked for Father's Day on June 20th. He wants to know, will he be able to travel to the US?
Yes, well, we know that the borders have not completely opened yet. There are talks of a bilateral agreement between the UK and the US, but it sounds like, yes, he should be able to visit the US because he meets the criteria as an immediate family member. So he definitely meets that short list of people who are still able to visit the US at this particular point in time. He would just be subject to submitting a negative COVID-19 test 72 hours prior to arriving to the States.
OK, another clear answer. Tiffany, thank you. Clive, I just want to go back to the UK's traffic light system of countries, green, amber and red, based on the risk and the prevalence of COVID cases in each one. Sharon in Norwich is asking, please could you tell me what the rules are on testing and quarantine if you travel to an amber country, which then gets put on the green list while you're there?
Okay, that's an interesting one, and one we clearly would like to see happen. But what the regulations of the traffic light system say is that on the day of entry, the colour of the country applies. So in that circumstances, if it was green when she arrived back in the UK, she wouldn't have to do the self-isolation at home. She would just need to do the test on day 2 and be free to get on with her business after her holiday. So it's not one that's happened yet, but that would be the case.
OK. Thank you very much. Sharon, I hope that's answered your question. To Tiffany, Brian and Judith Knight, who are in the UK, are asking, it's a slightly detailed question. They say that they've purchased a house in Florida in the United States. They want to go to undertake some work there. Under the UK's rules, they understand that that is allowed. But what they don't know is, even when they've had a look at the US Embassy website, whether they will be granted entry when they arrive in the US if they get on a direct flight from London.
Yes, so basically what I understand on the U.S. Embassy's website, again, unless you are a U.S. citizen, a legal permanent resident, a student on a visa, on a special visa, a journalist, there are a few other criteria that apply. You will not receive entry at this particular point in time to the U.S. Again, we are waiting with bated breath on this bilateral agreement between the UK and the U.S., and hopefully we will learn more about that this week from President Biden. But as of now, it sounds like they will not be able to enter.
And that is something that a lot of people are looking out for, isn't it, Clive? Both people who want to go on vacation and holiday and also, I imagine, the travel industry.
Yeah, I mean, the US is a huge market for both leisure and for our business travellers as well. And, that will be a significant move with both countries being successful with their vaccination programmes. We're really keen, and we're hoping that in the G7 summit this week, that President Biden and Prime Minister Johnson, talk about this and get this bilateral that Tiffany was talking about up and running. So friends and relatives and businesses can get back moving between both sides of the Atlantic again.
OK, Clive, another one for you. This comes from Roshi Rodericks and says, my brother is currently on holiday in India. He wants to travel back to Canada. He is a Canadian citizen, but he has a ticket to come via London. And his plan is to visit them for a few hours in London, leave the airport, but go back to Heathrow Airport, then go on to Canada. Is he allowed to take a COVID test in the UK and then travel on to Canada?
I'm afraid if he's coming from a red country, which India is right now, and coming out of the airport, he will be need to comply with the red list countries and will need to go into hotel quarantine. So you can't just come in, pop along and see the family, I'm afraid, and then go back to Heathrow. That would be very much a case of going into hotel quarantine and everything that comes with that. If you actually transit without leaving the airport, that's a different matter. You still need to have a negative PCR test to arrive in the UK, but as long as you don't leave the airport or airside and carry on to Canada, you could actually physically do that, but not leave the airport.
OK. Roshi, if you're watching, I suppose the thing to do, tell him not to leave the airport, maybe just switch on a video call and say hello there while you're all at a safe distance from each other. And then a question from Sylvia Colley, who asks, why are Americans allowed to travel to the UK, but people from the UK are locked out of the US? Lots of people here in the UK have property across the Atlantic, investments deteriorating. Why is that not being accounted for? When will the border open? Let's put that to you, Tiffany.
Yes. So just last week, a White House spokesperson has said that they don't want to be pressured because airlines are asking the same question. They don't want to be pressured. They don't want to necessarily make any irrational decisions as it pertains to rushing to making a decision to open the borders. Again, there are talks that a bilateral agreement will be reached as early as this week. Hopefully that is the case. But again, right now, the president has said that he is focused on getting the COVID-19 numbers getting the COVID-19 numbers under control, as well as getting as many Americans vaccinated as possible before he makes the decision to open the borders to people from other countries.
OK. We must leave it there, but thank you to you both. Thank you to Clive Wratton from the Business Travel Association in the UK and to Tiffany Smith, travel journalist in Chicago, for going through those and sharing your knowledge and expertise with us on Your Questions Answered.